What if Hermione Granger had been the chosen one instead of Harry Potter? What if it was her destiny to face Voldemort, carrying the weight of the entire wizarding world on her shoulders? Welcome to the channel. Today, we're diving into an alternative Harry Potter storyline that will completely change the way you see J.K. Rowling's saga. Take a deep breath and let's step into this alternative and incredible story. In a world veiled by shadows and whispers of forgotten prophecy, a single choice, a single shift in fate could unravel everything we thought we knew. The world of magic, hidden behind brick walls, secret doors, and the silent watch of owls, exists in fragile balance. A boy with a scar upon his forehead. A dark lord, broken but unyielding, and a prophecy echoing through time. The one with the power to vanquish the Dark Lord approaches. But what if the prophecy did not point to Harry James Potter? What if destiny had turned its gaze elsewhere? Picture the candlelit corridors of Hogwarts, the banners of the four houses drifting gently in the enchanted air. Students rushing to their classes, unaware that the weight of the world rests upon the shoulders of just one among them. And yet, it is not the boy who lived. It is the girl who read. Hermione Granger. From the very beginning, she was different. Not by blood, nor by the name of her lineage, but by the brilliance of her mind, the fire of her will, and the courage that outshone even the bravest lions of Gryffindor. The prophecy, whispered in secrecy, once spoke of a child born as the seventh month dies. But in this version of history, it is Hermione's birthday, September 19th, that the stars bend toward. A misread, a twist, a hidden truth overlooked. And so, the Dark Lord marked her as his equal, not Harry, a girl with Muggle parents, a girl who should have been invisible. And yet, she became the axis upon which the entire magical world would turn. Imagine the scene, Godric's Hollow, not with Lily, James, and Harry, but with the Granger family. Voldemort does not go to the Potters that fateful night. He seeks out a girl, barely 1 year old, a tiny crib filled with stuffed animals and soft lullabies. The Dark Lord enters, wand raised, eyes burning with hatred and triumph. He casts the killing curse. Emerald light floods the room, but the magic rebounds. The curse strikes him down, tearing his soul apart. His body collapses. And the girl survives. Hermione Granger, the girl who lived. Now the wizarding world awakens to a new legend. Whispers spread through the cobblestone streets of Diagon Alley. The Daily Prophet prints her name. Her parents, bewildered, shield her from cameras and questions. And in the shadows, a broken Dark Lord vows vengeance upon the child who stole his power. But unlike Harry, Hermione grows up not in neglect. Not in the cupboard under the stairs, but surrounded by love, by books, by the quiet strength of her parents. Her destiny, however, is unavoidable. And one day, the Hogwarts letter arrives. The story of the Chosen One begins again, but this time, everything is different. Because when destiny shifts, the world itself trembles. And this is the story of what might have been. The tale of Hermione Granger, the true chosen one. Destiny is a fragile thread, pulled by unseen hands, guided by forces beyond comprehension. In the original tale, Harry's scar marked him as the boy bound to Voldemort. But now, it is Hermione. Her life unfolds not in the cupboard beneath the stairs, but in the brightness of an ordinary home. Yet from the very beginning, shadows linger around her. Professor Dumbledore knows. He alone understands the truth of the prophecy. The Granger child is not ordinary. She is the fulcrum of an ancient balance. The scar upon her forehead is not a lightning bolt, but a crescent-shaped burn, etched by the rebounded curse. Subtle yet glowing faintly in moments of peril. A reminder to her and to the world of what she survived. Year 1. The scar still tingles as she steps onto platform 9 3/4. Steam hisses from the scarlet train. The air hums with laughter, farewells, and the excitement of 1,000 dreams. Hermione grips her ticket tightly. Her parents smile, waving proudly, but behind her eager eyes there is a weight. She knows her name is already whispered in the wizarding world. She knows they call her the girl who lived. And then she meets him. Harry Potter, not the legend, not the chosen one, just a boy, an orphan, raised without love, a boy who should have carried the burden but now walks in Hermione's shadow. Their meeting is awkward, even strange. Hermione introduces herself with confidence, her books stacked neatly in her arms. Harry, curious and shy, studies the scar upon her brow. For the first time, he is not the center of whispered attention. She is. In Hogwarts, everything begins to shift. The Sorting Hat hesitates when placed upon her head. Ah, I see greatness, wit beyond measure, a hunger for knowledge, and courage. Such courage. You could do well in Ravenclaw, and yet the fire of Gryffindor burns so brightly within you. Yes, yes, you will need that fire for the path ahead. The hat shouts, "Gryffindor!" The great hall erupts in cheers, but beneath the celebration, a subtle unease lingers. This is not the story anyone expected. The famous chosen one is not Harry Potter. Hermione studies harder than anyone else. She raises her hand in every class. She excels, not simply because of talent, but because she knows the world watches her. Every spell, every mistake, every triumph is magnified by prophecy. And Harry, he finds himself adrift. Still important, still brave, but no longer central. Ron befriends him as always, but it is Hermione who commands attention. It is Hermione who discovers secrets, who walks with an invisible crown of destiny. The trio forms, yet the balance is altered. Instead of Hermione following Harry into danger, it is often Harry and Ron following her. It is her courage that drives them through the trapdoor to face the Philosopher's Stone, her will that refuses to falter before the devil's snare, her logic that shatters the riddle of potions. And when she stands before Professor Quirrell, the Dark Lord whispering from the back of his head, it is Hermione who resists. Hermione whose scar burns with fire. Hermione who draws upon a power she cannot yet understand. The stone survives, Voldemort flees, and the legend of the girl who lived grows stronger. But destiny demands sacrifice. The consequences ripple outward. Dumbledore watches carefully, more cautious than ever. He knows Hermione's mind is her greatest weapon, but also her greatest danger. A chosen one who questions everything, even him, could unravel secrets the world is not ready to face. The professors treat her with reverence, some with envy. Snape in particular resents her, not simply for her intellect, but for the power she represents. A Muggle-born, marked as the equal of the Dark Lord. For him, it is an unbearable irony. The students whisper. Some admire her, some fear her. Draco Malfoy sneers at her fame, spitting words like mudblood with venom. Yet even he cannot deny. She shines brighter than anyone. And what of Voldemort? The Dark Lord seethes in exile, to be defeated not by a boy of ancient blood, but by a girl of no magical lineage. His pride festers into obsession. He whispers to his followers that the prophecy must have been twisted, that fate made a mockery of him. But in the deepest shadows of his shattered soul, he knows the truth. This girl is his equal. And so his hatred sharpens, his plans grow darker. He does not simply seek resurrection. He seeks to break her. The second year arrives, the Chamber of Secrets. Again, destiny twists. Hermione, already famed, becomes the target of fear when whispers of heir of Slytherin spread through the castle. Students suspect her, after all. Who else commands such strange power, such unnatural intellect? But it is she who unravels the puzzle. Even when petrified by the basilisk's gaze, her notes, scribbled urgently in her hand, lead Harry and Ron to the truth. When the basilisk rises, it is not Harry who faces it. It is Hermione. Sword of Gryffindor gleaming in her hand, her scar burning like fire. The serpent hisses, fangs drip venom, and with a cry of defiance, Hermione strikes. The blade pierces scale and bone. The basilisk collapses, its death rattle echoing through the chamber. Tom Riddle's diary, destroyed. The whispers cease, the legend grows, and yet the divide between her and Harry deepens. For though they fight side by side, Harry cannot escape the shadow of what might have been. He was once supposed to be the hero. Now he is the friend of the hero. Late at night, he wonders why fate chose her instead of him. He wonders what it means for his parents' sacrifice, for the life he has endured. Jealousy whispers in his ear like a serpent, but still, he stands by her, because he too sees the fire within her. The years roll forward like a storm. The Triwizard Tournament arrives. This time, it is not Harry's name that emerges from the goblet of fire, but Hermione's. The crowd gasps, the castle trembles, for the chosen one has been chosen again, by yet another force beyond her control. She faces dragons, mermaids, labyrinths of shifting terror, and she does not falter. Her brilliance, her will, her courage carry her through every trial. But in the graveyard, when the Dark Lord rises again, when flesh and bone restore his form, it is Hermione, not Harry, who duels him. Sparks of green and red crash into the night. The clash of wills shakes the earth itself. And though she escapes with her life, the truth is undeniable. Voldemort has returned. The world changes forever. And so, the immediate years of destiny unfold, reshaped by a single twist of fate. Hermione Granger, the chosen one, the girl who lived, the one destined to face the Dark Lord. But even as her legend rises, so too does the darkness gathering to destroy her. This is only the beginning. The world has changed. One girl, one scar has rewritten destiny. And the ripples of this new reality spread outward like cracks in glass. The wizarding world divided. When Hermione defeats the basilisk, when she survives the graveyard, when she stands against Voldemort himself, she becomes more than legend. She becomes symbol. To the frightened, she is hope incarnate, proof that light can stand against the abyss. Children whisper her name in common rooms. Families in Diagon Alley lift their heads with pride. The girl who lived is not of old blood. She is not of a pure line. She is one of them, a daughter of Muggles, proof that greatness can rise from anywhere. But to others, to those who cling to the crumbling purity of bloodlines, her very existence is an abomination, a blasphemy against tradition. The Malfoys, the Lestranges, the remnants of dark families whisper with growing hatred. If the chosen one can be Muggle-born, then the old order is already dead. And so the war of ideology sharpens, no longer merely about Voldemort's return. Now it is about the future itself. What kind of world will magic belong to? The Ministry of Magic falters. Cornelius Fudge, terrified of the girl's rising power, does not deny Voldemort's return because of Harry's testimony. Instead, he seeks to discredit Hermione. Articles flood the Daily Prophet. Skeptical voices sneer at her intelligence, claiming she is a manipulator, a liar, a girl who seeks power under the guise of prophecy. The Ministry sends Dolores Umbridge to Hogwarts, not to suppress Harry Potter, but to break Hermione Granger. Her punishments cut deeper than flesh. Her words poison classrooms. She brands Hermione a pretender, a dangerous force. And yet, every cruelty only forges Hermione sharper. She forms Dumbledore's army, not as Harry did, but with an even greater intensity. She drills her peers in defense. She arms them with spells and strategies. She becomes commander as much as friend. When the room of requirement glows with candlelight, she stands before dozens of students, her voice steady, her eyes unyielding. We do not fight for glory. We fight because we must, because darkness will not wait, and because the world needs us. Harry's path diverges. For Harry, the shift is unbearable. In the original thread of destiny, he was the leader. Now he is the shadow. He watches his friend carry the burden he once thought was his. He sees the scars forming on her soul, and deep inside, resentment gnaws. But Harry is not a boy to abandon loyalty. Though envy whispers, he fights beside her. He protects her when danger strikes. He challenges her when pride blinds her. Their bond becomes complex, woven of love, rivalry, admiration, and unspoken ache. There are nights when Harry looks at her and wonders, why her? Why not me? And there are nights when Hermione looks at him and wonders, if fate had chosen differently, would I be free? Ron Weasley, the anchor. Ron, ever loyal, becomes the glue that binds them. To Hermione, he is steady laughter, a hand that pulls her back to earth when books and destiny consume her. To Harry, he is brother, a reminder that he still matters. But Ron himself struggles. His insecurities deepen. To be the friend of the chosen one is daunting. To be in love with her, terrifying. He questions his worth even as he stands at her side. And yet, again and again, when darkness comes, Ron does not falter. Dumbledore's gambit. For Albus Dumbledore, the change is seismic. He once guided Harry with secrets half told, with manipulations hidden behind a grandfatherly smile. But Hermione is not Harry. She questions, she pries, she demands answers, she uncovers truths earlier, pushes Dumbledore into corners he cannot escape. By her 4th year, she already knows of Horcruxes, fragments of Voldemort's soul. By her 5th, she has researched spells long buried in the restricted section. The old wizard sees in her not only hope, but danger, for knowledge is power, and power tempts even the purest heart. The rise of the Dark Lord. Meanwhile, Voldemort thrives. The night of his rebirth, he does not gloat about conquering Harry Potter. He speaks of Hermione Granger, of his hatred for her blood, for her defiance. A mudblood standing against me. Fate has mocked me once. It will not mock me again. His Death Eaters rally with renewed fury. No longer is there war only for dominance. Now it is vengeance. Every battle is sharpened by insult. To destroy Hermione is to prove their supremacy, and Voldemort studies her. He learns her strategies. He fears her mind. For she is not reckless, as Harry once was. She is methodical, calculated, a commander who turns allies into an army. Their duels become legend, sparks of green and crimson, mind against mind, soul against soul, neither yielding, each shaping the other into something more dangerous. The Wizarding War accelerates. By the time the war erupts in full, the Wizarding world is already fractured beyond recognition. Families are divided, schools are battlegrounds. The Ministry falls faster than in the original timeline, for Hermione exposes its corruption openly, pushing it to crumble under truth rather than secrecy. And the people, they rally, some around her banner, inspired by her courage, her defiance, her refusal to bow to fate. Others around Voldemort's, driven by fear, by hate, by the old poison of blood purity. The war becomes not just prophecy versus Dark Lord, but an ideological revolution. The fate of other characters. Neville Longbottom rises sooner. Inspired by Hermione's leadership, he trains harder, fights with fiercer resolve. He becomes her lieutenant, a warrior molded by her guidance. Ginny Weasley grows close to Hermione, not as a love interest, but as a sister in arms. She finds her own voice earlier, refusing to remain in the shadows. Draco Malfoy spirals deeper. To be eclipsed by a Muggle-born drives him toward desperation. His choices become harsher, his loyalty to Voldemort more zealous, yet deep down, doubt festers stronger than ever. Snape is torn apart. His oath to protect Lily's child does not apply. And yet, watching Hermione fight, he sees echoes of Lily's brilliance, Lily's defiance, hatred and reluctant respect war within him. Hermione's transformation. As the years unfold, Hermione herself changes. The eager girl with books in her arms becomes a warrior queen. Her hands, once ink-stained, now bear scars of battle. Her eyes, once wide with curiosity, now sharpen with resolve. The burden weighs heavily. She wonders, often in silence, if she is losing herself. If destiny is not merely guiding her, but consuming her. But when the world looks at her, they do not see doubt. They see the chosen one. The wizarding world burns brighter and darker. The legend of Hermione Granger reshapes history itself. And in the shadows, two destinies march toward collision, inevitable, unstoppable. Hermione Jean Granger and Lord Voldemort. One, born of Muggles. The other, consumed by hatred, bound together by prophecy, by scar, by fate itself. And soon, only one will remain. The storm is coming. The war consumes all. The walls of Hogwarts tremble. The forbidden forest burns. And destiny, at last, demands payment. The Battle of Hogwarts. But it is not the battle we once knew. It is darker, more desperate. The defenders gather, students, teachers, rebels, aurors, their faces pale, their eyes fierce. And at the center of them all stands Hermione Granger. Her wand burns faintly in her hand. Her scar pulses like molten fire. She does not speak of glory. She does not speak of triumph. She speaks only of necessity. We fight because we must. We fight because there is no one else. We fight because tomorrow depends on what we do tonight. Her words ripple through the great hall like thunder. Children clutch their wands tighter. Parents steel themselves. Even the walls seem to listen. The battle erupts. Spells crackle like lightning. Giants tear through stone. Dementors descend in choking waves of despair. The air itself shakes with screams, fire, and the grinding clash of magic. Hermione leads from the front. She strikes with precision, weaving spells faster than thought. She protects the weak, cuts down the strong. Beside her, Harry and Ron fight with desperate loyalty. Ginny duels like flame. Neville rises like a storm. But for every victory, loss bleeds into the earth. Bodies fall. Names are carved into silence. The price of destiny is high. And then the forest calls. Just as Harry once walked into death, now it is Hermione, for she has learned the truth. Dumbledore's secrets, unraveled under her relentless mind. She knows of the Elder Wand. She knows of the Horcruxes. She knows that she herself carries one. The scar was never merely a wound. It was a vessel. A fragment of the Dark Lord sleeps within her. If Voldemort is to be defeated, she must die. She walks into the shadows of the Forbidden Forest, alone. The night is heavy, thick with mist. Each step echoes like a drumbeat of fate, and waiting for her stands Voldemort. His eyes glow scarlet. His followers circle like wolves. The Dark Lord raises his wand, savoring the moment. At last, he hisses, voice like poison, the mudblood who thought herself chosen. Tonight, prophecy ends. Hermione does not raise her wand. She closes her eyes, and she accepts death. The killing curse strikes. Emerald light engulfs her. The forest itself shudders. Her body falls. Her scar fades to silence. But fate is never so simple. She awakens in white mist, a vast hall, empty yet endless, and there, waiting for her, is Dumbledore. His eyes kind, his voice heavy with sorrow. "You have carried what no one should," he says softly. "But by walking willingly into death, you have done what no prophecy could. The fragment of his soul within you is gone, and you may choose to return." Hermione breathes deeply. She sees the faces of her friends, Ron, Harry, Ginny, the countless who fight for tomorrow. She nods, and in the forest, her chest rises again, the final duel. She returns to the castle. The battle still rages. The Dark Lord waits in the Great Hall, the Elder Wand clutched in his skeletal hand. His laughter echoes across shattered stone. Hermione steps forward. Her friends gather behind her, but she raises a hand. "This is mine." The hall falls silent. Two figures, two destinies. The girl who lived, the lord who would not die. Their wands rise, the duel begins. Magic collides like thunder. Green and red shatter against one another. The very air bends, the stones quake. Windows explode into shards of light. Voldemort's fury is boundless. Every curse is venom, every strike a storm. Yet Hermione does not yield. She weaves spells not of rage, but of resolve, not to destroy, but to protect. For in the end, that is her strength, not hatred, not power, but love. Her friends' voices fill her mind, her parents' faces proud and kind. The countless who have fallen, the countless who must live. And as Voldemort strikes with the killing curse, his voice a roar of hate, Hermione answers, "Expelliarmus!" The spells collide. The Elder Wand twists in the Dark Lord's grasp, and as destiny has always whispered, it betrays its master. The curse rebounds. Green light swallows him whole. Lord Voldemort is no more. Silence. The Great Hall breathes again, wands lower, eyes widen. And at the center, Hermione Granger stands, scar fading, wand steady, heart trembling. She does not lift her arms in triumph. She does not revel in victory. She closes her eyes and lets the tears fall. For though the Dark Lord is gone, the cost is carved in stone. The aftermath. The wizarding world emerges scarred, yet unbroken. The ministry crumbles, rebuilt upon truth rather than fear. Pure blood supremacy shatters, though its fragments linger like shards of glass. A new age dawns, uncertain, fragile, but alive. Hermione refuses titles. She does not seek monuments. She returns to books, to study, to rebuilding. Yet no matter where she goes, whispers follow. The chosen one, the girl who lived, the witch who saved them all. Harry finds peace at last. He is no longer the symbol of destiny, but he remains a hero in his own right. He stands beside her, not in shadow, but in light, her equal in friendship, in loyalty, in sacrifice. Ron, her anchor, walks with her into the uncertain dawn. Their bond, forged in fire, endures. Others rise with them. Neville, Ginny, Luna's, each carrying scars, each carrying hope, Hermione's legacy. In the quiet years that follow, children at Hogwarts learn her name not as legend alone, but as example. They read of her brilliance, her courage, her refusal to bend before fate. And when they see her walking the halls as minister, or as professor, or simply as herself, they understand. She was not chosen by blood, nor by birth, nor by prophecy. She was chosen because she chose herself. And so the story ends, not with the boy who lived, but with the girl who did not yield, Hermione Jean Granger.